So guys, talk about the Mesquite, Nevada shooting, or I think it's been called Las Vegas Massacre, or the Country Music Festival Massacre, and it's just, you know, biggest mass shooting in America. This define mass shooting where we have a shooting incident where at least five people have been killed or wounded or shot, um, wounded via gun, shot, wounded via whatever. um, just 10 minutes before work started, that's all I want to talk about guns, but it's just like, I gave it a day to let the news media process it, news. It's all about sensationalism. I they really couldn't figure out anything within the first day at least. It's all sensationalism. So hopefully the next few days I'll put out a video about this with more facts. But it's time for action. I'm a firearm owner. I don't agree with both sides of the argument, their main points. I believe both sides have a lot of work to do. Like, I'm a pro-gun owner who gets mad at anti-gunners because of their weak arguments, I'm pro-gun laws, and I hate how people who are gun advocates, they make other gun owners look stupid. I'm not talking about those who are violent, but the ones who just, I'm like, man, you gotta like chill out about these firearms. It's just, you look like a fucking killer. And I get it, just because you're into firearms, it doesn't mean you're already a killer, but you know who I'm talking about. If you're a gun range commando, you know who I'm talking about. Like, if you've been to a gun range for at least once in your life, you know who I'm talking about. Or you've been around a guy who owns guns, or you have a gun, you know the kind of people I'm talking about. People who you just want to punch in the face all the time because they talk about guns all day. Or they just give it a bad name. It's not the fact that they talk about it, it's just like they just present themselves and the movement in a wrong way. I'm not even talking about those First Amendment, open carry people. Even though the people I'm talking about, they're in that group too as well. But not all people. There's good on both sides. There's no good on both sides. And you punch a Nazi in the face. But yeah, that's my thoughts on there right now. I want common sense gun laws, off the cuff, maybe a 10-round magazine. I don't believe the term high capacity magazine at all. I just believe 10 rounds, cut it, I don't care what you want to call it. You want to call it average, above average, low average. 10 rounds, that's it, including in the chamber. But yeah, that's what for starters, background checks. If you've done time in jail, I believe you should have your rights back, including the right to vote and a right to possess a firearm. While you're on probation, I can understand why you don't want the individual to have one. So therefore, right there. So I'm for background checks, but I'm also for another pro-gun law. So I'm combination. I believe if you want a certain type of firearm, that's fine. Everyone should have access to it. Ideally, I would like the laws to be centered around production of firearms, and also I want like a self-defense bill introduced, not just from firearms or self-defense, disarmament. Obviously, you couldn't defend against that shooting, but also we got other crimes to worry about. I'm not trying to dismantle the 30,000 people dying each related to gun deaths, and that's including police officer shootings and suicides, so let's not belittle those issues either. But you're not going to hear the news media talk like this, where they're going to say, here's the gray, let's just separate the blacks and whites, and then let's just separate them, There's different ways to get to gray. Let's just separate it out. I criticize both sides, and I'm an advocate for both sides as well. Like I said, 10-round magazine clip, but also give gun rights back to people who've gone out of prison, who are no longer on probation, who've done their time to society. So that's prison reform as well, on top of gun reform. So in America, we got 90 guns for every 100 people, and I'm not going to be using Mexico or Swiss or Great Britain or Australia argument. It's people who want that argument don't understand those countries who advocated for gun regulation, like Australia and England. They had other things going for them. And people are disenfranchised in America. That's why they go to religion and guns, because they want to feel empowered. Well, if you had like a socialized medicine or people or a well-class education system, you know, people wouldn't feel disempowered, disenfranchised, so they'd be more willing to give up their firearms because they wouldn't feel scared, you know. And I didn't even really, I understand why those countries did what they did, but I don't even agree with it. I think they went the wrong route, how they dealt with their gun issues. You know, gun deaths are going down in America. They don't tell you that either. But they went down significantly after the gun reforms in Australia and England. But again, maybe there could have been a different way of going about it. Again, those countries didn't have a gun culture like we do. Like, I apologize, I don't know if there is a constitution or what's it called in those countries. So I don't want to seem ignorant, but you know, we have a very proud gun culture, and to a fault. You know, I'm a Texan, I'm a Southerner. So to a fault, I believe that we have a gun culture. But at the same time, there are some positive sides to it. Because I know way more responsible gun owners who are for gun culture like me, who want more gun control like me, have more guns than me, you know. So, yeah. My thoughts.